Hello and welcome to our latest webinar where we bring to you our latest insights about agentic innovation. As you know, we have done a comprehensive study on how AI is reshaping innovation and new business building in 2025. So we talked a lot to different companies, to different innovation teams around the world to explore how they are using AI, how they are using agents, insights, chats, other AI tools, etc., to streamline their innovation work and bring innovation to the next level. And what we learned from our study, this is what we will present to you today in this short wrap up. The report itself will be available the next days via download over via our website, and then you can browse through the report by yourself. And if you want to get notified when the report is available, please send us an email, and then we will put you into our newsletter. So today we will present all the results, and this is not only an initiative done by ourselves. So we have conducted the research together with the Duale Hochschule Baden-Württemberg, where we have lectures about innovation, new business building, entrepreneurship, etc. And those students helped us to conduct the study. Who else is behind this? We are Fast Break One. I'm Matthias, one of the co-founders of Fast Break One. We are one of the leading venture studios, corporate venture studios here in Europe, especially when it comes to building platforms or digital ecosystems. Then we partner with companies like IKEA, Volkswagen, Bosch, and a lot of other corporates to help them to understand the whole topic about platforms, but also to find new opportunities in the market, in market ecosystems, and build them together, scale them together, and make them successful. And in the last years, we have also, of course, used AI to streamline our work. So, of course, AI is leveraged by a lot of companies. So we said also to ourselves, hey, we need to do this. It sounds very interesting to streamline, to speed up the whole process, but also maybe let agents help you, to support you, to augment your work, to increase the success rates of your ventures. And based out of that, we created an own platform called vntrAI, and this platform is dedicated to innovation teams, where they can use predefined agents, predefined communications, chats with AI, and have access to a lot of tools innovation teams use, like synthetic users, collaboration spaces, and so on, to further streamline. So this is all of what we learned from AI and all of what we continue to learn from AI. This is what we put and will put into the platform and vntrAI to make it available also for people outside. So if you are interested into streamlining your work, please go into to vntrAI.com, and then you can register for a 7-day free trial period, and you can try out the platform. It comes with over 100 predefined agents for a lot of different topics, so I'm sure you will definitely find some support for your work. But today it's more about the report itself. And so what is the status quo about agentic innovation mainly in Europe for those customers? And before we go into that, we need to clarify a bit what do we mean with agentic innovation. So when you zoom out a bit and you reflect where innovation comes from, and then mainly before or in the last century, innovation was very similar to R&D, research and development. So you have to spend a lot of time and money in researching new technologies, new materials, whatever. And based out of that, you could create new kind of business models. And then in the last 30 years, it went also through some more professionalism, where you improve the processes. It became a kind of a systematic innovation management, where you have a kind of a stage gate process, and only when you pass some stages you can move forward and with your innovation. So it became more and more professional, and more understanding went into how you manage your innovations, how to manage innovation portfolios, and so on, also the methodologies. And then the last recent major update we have seen with agile innovation management. So the last 10, maybe 15 years, we have seen the rise of things like business model canvases, lean canvas, and lean management, lean innovation. So a lot of those agile methodologies helped us a lot to approach innovation in a different way, more entrepreneurial way, testing out things, not just building products, push this to market, and then hope it will be purchased by customers, but more in a way to test it upfront, creating prototypes, go straight into research with your customers, customer validations, and so on. So those kind of agile methodologies brought a new perspective into the whole topic of innovation. Now what we see now with the whole methodology written in books and presented all over in accelerators, incubators, and so on. Now we see with the rise of AI that a lot of those things can be internalized by the AI itself, and then we can use agents as a supporting instrument for us as humans to streamline our work. And this is the next age we see. We call this the Agentic innovation management phase, where you have the chance to streamline innovation, to go from months to days, to rely less on external costs like consultants, make smarter decisions, and at the end, of course, increase the success rates of your startups, of your ventures. And this is all about, this is the ultimate KPI, right? The success rate. I mean, you can spend a lot of time, a lot of money, but currently we have, when you talk about venture studios, still a kind of a success rate about 30-40% maybe, which is really, really high. But with agents and agentic innovation, we see that the success rate can even surpass the 50% barrier, maybe, as you can say. So when it comes to venture building or new business buildings, then still today with agile innovation management, people understand, the companies understand how to do innovation, people are trained, but they still rely and spend a lot of money on external consulting services, supporting their venture building or clienting or investing activities, for go-to-market consulting, for research consulting, etc. And as you can see, just some numbers for the USA alone, they spend 56 billion of external services. But they are kind of still, when you talk to them and you ask them, how do you leverage AI? Because AI has a huge benefit for you, at least also to reduce those external costs and further make your processes much faster. Then 99% of them, according to McKinsey, have no clear AI strategy for innovation in place. So they still lack the understanding what to do with AI. And this is where we want to bring in some light in for those companies to better understand the potentials of AI. When we talk to all of them and we ask them how much do you use already AI, then 99% of them told us they are exploring, they are kind of playing around with AI tools and practices, and they still are in the phase to try to understand what is the real impact of agents, of AI to their processes. So they don't know exactly what to do right now, but they are playing around, they are exploring. I mean, this is in the nature of innovation teams. Teams want to explore, want to understand. So this is what they do right now. They play around with different tools and try to make sense out of them. So when we conducted this study together with our university partner, we talked mainly to our customers. Of course, we have direct access to, and they in our interviews, they told a lot about what is the status. And as you can see on the right hand side, the majority of them are from bigger corporates, so from companies with employees larger than 10,000, or between 5 to 10,000. So 80% of them are from bigger corporates, from bigger companies, and also from a revenue perspective, they are major in the market. I mean, this is for us important to understand because this is our customer base on one hand side. On the other side, they are also the bigger companies, and maybe with the biggest restrictions when it comes to exploring AI. All of those companies have a lot of data privacy rules and data sharing rules in place, etc. A lot of restrictions, especially here in Europe. So for us, it was more like not about the size, but more about what kind of restrictions are in place, kind of limiting them to explore all tools out there and all opportunities out there, and gives us a bit more like a real state instead of talking to very innovative agencies and they are playing around with the latest and fanciest tools, but then they are more like the outliers, and the majority of companies are lagging behind. So those companies are for us more the real representative of the middle of the majority of the companies out there. So the first question is, in which disciplines are they actively working? And as you can see, the majority of them are working in the discipline of venture building. When it comes to new business building, we talk about different categories, different disciplines. Venture building is one of them. Venture clienting is where you partner with startups. Venture investing is when you see it really like an investment opportunity and then maybe selling after some years and making some money. And M&A is like purchasing a company, a kind of a startup, and try to internalize it into your portfolio. So we wanted to understand where are those people responding to our survey are coming from, and the majority, as you can see, is from the new business building perspective. Then we asked them the first question: how do you rate your team's current AI maturity? And this was really interesting. So none of them said we have no maturity level, or we are zero, we are low. We have no AI use in place right now. But as you can see, the majority is more like they see themselves in a very high maturity state. So they are exploring tools and they are already part of their processes. And some of them are already automating complete processes with AI. So they are not just playing around and testing, but they also made the decision for themselves. Yes, it totally makes sense. And some of those processes we are automating already. And this was really kind of a bit of surprise, I can say, because we expect more like the middle, but that they are so advanced this is a good signal for those people, because they are innovative people, and it gives them also a shout out because they are having the spirit to implement those things in their process. Then we zoomed in more on the venture building process. So we gave them a very generic process to orient with, and this is our process, our process and our phases. So in the envision phase, you start to envision where in those markets you could see some areas for new business. Then in the explore phase, you go in and you validate new opportunities you see, you found out. In the embark phase, you build kind of an MVP, you go to market, you try to get some first traction, and you try to remove the bottlenecks to scale. And then in the embrace phase, you embrace the whole opportunity, you focus on network effects, you focus on scaling your platform, your new business. And in the evolve phase, this is then thinking much broader. So after you have shown that your business is really profitable, viable, etc., then you can focusing on expanding your market footprint, and this is the evolve phase. So the next question was for us, which phase of this venture building processes are you most interested in optimizing with AI? And this was multiple choice, so you can see that almost all of them said we see the first three phases as the highest interest. because this is maybe the most fuzziest process steps, where you do market research, exploring, testing, circling around, pivoting, etc. So there's a lot of energy going into those processes without maybe, or with the chance of maybe less than 10, 20, 30% to be successful. So there's a lot of energy which is maybe kind of wasted. So the thinking is, if we can further streamline those processes, then of course we can not only increase the success rate, but also maybe reduce costs, etc. And then we ask them, which AI tools or platforms are you actively using or evaluating? And this was really interesting. So as you can see, top left, what kind of general purpose LLMs are you using? And then the clear winner is OpenAI with the whole GPT family. For agent orchestrations and agent builders, it was interesting to see that a lot of them, of course, trying to build their own agents with LangChain, LangGraph, etc. But they are also try to test out managed agent builder platforms. Some of them are also focusing on workflow automation, low-code orchestration. So some kind of major platforms are here like N8N, Zapier, Make, etc. So they are testing to use them because it's more like click and build easily those workflows. Some are also playing around with knowledge augmentation platforms where they can hook in via racks their databases, read out of those data, hook them into those agents. So it's a bit more advanced than just kind of automating flows. And also playing around with vector databases and semantic search. This is a signal where they hook in the databases and make them connect them really to agents to provide them with their own knowledge. So it's not just the relying on the knowledge of the generic knowledge of those LLMs, but also using the LLM and the agents to access data and with the own company-owned data. What is also interesting is that we see that a lot of them are playing around with very specific, vertical specific tools, like when you look at market research, customer research, or scenario modeling, or idea research things, or prototyping tools. All of them are testing different kind of tools. This gives us also a very good understanding that the teams are exploring agents and workflows with those workflow tools and sub-tools, but on the other side also see a benefit of very specialized tools helping them in, for example, creating graphics, doing the research, and so on. This is something an agent, a generic LLM cannot do at the moment, not on this level. But this level is required to fulfill the task in a highly appropriate way. And another very surprising feedback was none of them has developed their own platform so far, their own solution. They all rely on solutions from the market. Then we also talked about stages of AI usage, and here I need to introduce our stage model. The first stage, this is the easiest one, this is what we have seen some years ago, is where people start using AI with prompting. So you go to ChatGPT, enter their prompt, and then go into a conversation with the AI. The second stage is more like prompt engineering. So they started to collect prompts, put them into a prompt library, optimizing those prompts, prompt chains, etc. So they can repeatedly use those prompts for their task. Then in the third stage, we see that they augment the AI and their prompting with data. So they connect own data sets to it to let the AI access this data, look for patterns, look for whatever to give them more feedback. Then on stage 4, we see that people started to explore workflow integrations and automations, like I said before, using N8N or other tools, Relevance AI and Co, to build their workflows. And then in stage 5, we have agentic orchestration. So they started to build agents, so they understand, okay, I don't need to build the workflow by myself, like step 1, step 2, step 3, but I can give the agent a specific task, and the agent is building the workflow by itself. It's reasoning, so it needs to be a trained agent. You give them kind of instructions and that's it, but access to data, the memory, the context, the tools, this is also what you give the agent, then the agent performs the task kind of autonomously. And then in stage 6 we have those multi-agent things where you try to combine agents, maybe with an orchestration agent on top, to orchestrate all the other agents, and so have more sophisticated tasks to do. Then on stage 7 we see those platforms, those managed vertical specific platforms, where you of course have multiple access to multiple agents, maybe also multi-agents or orchestration agents, and all this tool inside of a platform. So the platform provides you with a space where you have a catalog, where you have easy access, where you have access control, cost management, and so on. You have also maybe some ethical guardrails in place via the platform. So it helps you to manage all of that, so you don't need to build it by yourself, but you have it managed for your whole team. And here are some examples like Innovation Intelligence, Mapag, Hype Innovation, or vntrAI teams are using to manage and bring the whole team on the same level. So we also asked them, what are the biggest barriers for your team facing or adopting AI? And we looked into strategy, people, technology, legal things, security things, financial things, trust, cultural things, and so on. And it was a bit surprising. First of all, the biggest barriers like leadership buy-in or strategic alignment, maybe also ownership, the operating model. So this goes back to our first statement on the first slides. They lack about a clear strategy, and therefore also the management is not really making a decision at the moment, so they're still exploring. And then it's also clear, a bit of unclear, how do we want to operate the AI in the future. Another point is about skills and talent. When we talk to them, it's still some of them have a very good understanding. So 1 or 2 out of the team has a good understanding about AI. It's a bit of their passion, but the remaining people of the team, they are more or less on a beginner level. Really, you need to explain them what are agents, what are the differences, and so on. So it's still a kind of a talent or skills problem. It's a new thing. It's hard to understand sometimes, and therefore the teams are also struggling a bit to skill up the whole team. And then the other part is about technology. So the infrastructure, the tooling, the data availability, the data quality is still a bit of lacking behind. So they feel we have not the right infrastructure in place at the moment. I mean, this is a young topic. There is a lot of movement at the moment. Every month new tools pop up, new updates are coming. So they are still not 100% decided yet what kind of infrastructure is the right one. And then data quality the same. Yes, we have a lot of data in our CRM system or other systems, but is the quality right for feeding it into an AI? Big question mark behind. On the other side, also a bit of a surprise is less issues with the cost, with the budget, or with security issues or whatever. They see we need to do this, and therefore we are willing to go into those risks, and we also see the necessity to invest and to buy solutions, or to bring in some external solutions to explore. So this is a check, so not a problem. So it's more internal barriers. So the key observations from our Our study is all innovation teams are currently exploring AI beyond ChatGPT. Venture building is one of the top disciplines when it comes to innovation. It has one of the longest processes with a lot of tasks, so there's a lot of potential. Automating workflows are already implemented in some processes. This was really a big surprise. But still a clear strategy or a mandate are missing in most of the companies and organizations. And it's more like a bottom-up initiative where some people with the passion for AI, they try out, they bring this in. But from a top-down, it's a bit of missing. AI is really a new discipline, and almost daily there are some news and changes, and therefore it's getting hard to get a hand on senior experts. So you need to invest to building them by yourself. And then we have also a very broad landscape of tools, and therefore it requires a lot of time to further explore and test, which is also consuming a lot of energy. So I expect it take a while for those companies to make validated and good evaluations to pick the right tool. But nevertheless, agents aren't the hot topic at the moment, and but it also requires a bit more explanation and exploration, and managed platforms where you have a protected environment can really help here to break the barrier, to break the ice for people to explore. That was our study in a nutshell. So we plan to continue to have this study next year, and we have also an own Agentic innovation community. So feel free to join the community to learn more, to connect with other peers, to exchange. Or if you are interested in playing around with a managed platform, then please feel free to go to vntrAI.com and book a demo, or subscribe for a 7-day free trial, so you can test it out. The agents, the prompts, the experts we have, the collaboration spaces, the automations, etc., and so on. From my side, thank you very much for joining and listening. And if you want to hear more updates, also subscribe via LinkedIn to our newsletter or to my profile, and then you are notified for the latest updates. Thank you very much.